Alright,
I'm Leland
everybody.
DeKretzer,
It's
and I'm the
Gray still
Global Breaking
plays.
News Editor at
GTA
Reuters.
5
Today's
or Ace
panel
Combat
is on
7
Industrial
or Call of
Policy
Duty.
2.0. A new era of government intervention has occurred, and many governments are bringing in new policies to spur economic growth. But the question we have is it possible to avoid the mistakes of the past? And balance competitiveness with global cooperation. We've had some preliminary discussions in the back, so I'm pretty excited about what today's panel is going to bring us. There's some varied views amongst this group. I want to introduce our panelists. To the left of me, we have the Saudi Minister for Industry and Mineral Resources, Bandar Al Khoury.
How to smoke a blunt in the police station and get away with it.
Roland Bush. We have we have two distinguished economists, Laura Deandra Tyson and then Adam Posen, and then we also have the UK Shadow Secretary of Business and Trade, Jonathan
That's
Reynolds.
the CPT paradox for the dry-wet line on thermal and bluestone.
Okay, we're going to start with some practical views from the ground. So I'm going to start with you, Roland.
The stack mechanics, pitch, roll, and yaw with the armature and the armor chips that you gotta have for the steps that you'll need on different figures of the hydrogen wave function gambit here.
The Germans' operating model is, of course, technology.
It gets better. Hold on. There's more to this this entry. If we were in a chem lab, aeronautics, aerospace, financings, any kind of bonds or diagrams, matrices, the standard models, up, down, spin charm, here, just gambits, into housekeeping, into bar graph and math, invention, manufacturing island, and a Faraday suit.
It's another one which we call globalization.
Well, if you do the math, then it's for golden ratio equals golden ratio, but any which way you go about that, math is a source code, really. I mean, XYZ, M1, M2, chain rules about like it going this way, or entropy to scales that stay square across the board, 13 coulomb, 1 inch. This is, what you're packing in there by math for those books off the bottom, or any inventions that you're throwing into them. So for me, later on in this manual, what you'll see is a different version of me doing the same thing. I'm saying, well, here's a game I play with students on day one, but we are dealing with a heavy-duty matrix that's supposed to be a perfect square, but is calculus, well, the STEM problems. You got sulfur-germane, you got Young's-Meals mass gap, you got brick and dryer, there's NP on the other side, Poncure and Hodges are your topologies, right? We're going to be doing a lot more diagrams here about those being more comprehensive to 3B, 1B's impossible Warden's problem about where to make them all work together on a floor entropy that hides the key. And you're solving that topology to solve a discrete issue or transition of Venus, calculus, sonar, entropy configuration, integrals, calculus forms, and the beaten trees. Against some other Couch's theorem and, whatever else I had going on in there for the fire flower growing in that environment for the bull coffin, or some sigma state that allows me to the river a little bit and say, well, we're moving right. The charts are going to do this stuff, and they're going to have some sequence. It's going to get some momentum and DMAs. Well, I got some other ones coming too, where you'll see my stonemason guy down in here stacking one stone of rock, and that's my manufacturing line. If it's that or landscaping, that's that 13 coulombs in 1 inch that helps me scale that down into, again, this Hodges Poncure's topology for a command directive, a quote, a bill, a receipt, that allows you to then take these and unity them up real good. Those routes that they come in there and have multiple Nicolas Cage routes about what manager job they're doing, equally about what the Roomba is going to do, is still limited under, even if it's quantum processing to hear a TPU on what timelines are 5 minutes to midnight there on the floor. Again, just a continuum block guy, ground guy, management, your day one entries, 90-day programs, give you what from pawn centerboard to the king on the outside on the angles of the slopes there to their outputs. Yeah, me, I'm a minigun GE for this thing, but this is no matter what I do, what I want to do, but I'm still going to, I usually still wind up cutting those blocks. If I don't know how to do it, then I'm going to probably miss something on their grease lines that miss my service maintenance monthlies as management, because that's my line. And even though we're both running the same line, there's still that new guy in that first week, or, you know, a boss just came into the task and, you know, learning the soft program and teaching them things front loading, not just integrating it into some floor, you know. And I did all this in the bar. I did this one when I was drinking in the bar one night. That's why this one's a little sloppy. But
as Ronald rightly said, we don't try to support certain sectors indefinitely or spoil them. So that's the overarching. And then
well, this is actually the building C. There's fixed cuts, and the way I'm designing it, it is latticed. When you do that floor, then you need the floor where it's like, well, your bay drags, your lineup programming, your fixed cuts, your block orientation numbers, and well, the orientation to how the saw should look at the bottom limits, or is what the gap would be for what, I don't know, movement C here. So in that block cut, in this very square thing, it was, see all those shapes were all broken up and beat up. Well, you got to figure out how to make it the zenith inside of there without the, you know, the asperities here. So when you're doing, I like to make a joke, Z-brushing yourself, Z-brushing it. 2-pi and 4-pi stuff at the metrics can still be like 3B, 1B, teaching them how to logarithm, or how to mod or period the stub of TOA here opposite the adjacents, make it your lines, which then you would use to train the ragdoll physics, RIPD. Just relax body, guys, because this one, I'm glad I did it for you. Trying to get your managers to do this helps you out a bunch. When I said in the stone mill about, I want this because it covers my numbers. You want this as a boss because it covers your numbers, and the Fed love this because they could use it as a camp. Get into them. There's some more if you want to check them out.